let's just kick this stuff off right away, man, and break down this UFC 150 main card fights.
Yeah, sounds good. It should be a pretty entertaining main card.
Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. So start at the bottom here. We got Max Holloway versus Justin Lawrence.
Well, I'm glad they actually put this on the main card. It's one heck of a fight. I mean, it's going to be fireworks, I think, the whole time. You're seeing the odds in a slight favor of Justin Lawrence. Obviously, he's got a little bit more exposure for the UFC diehard fans from The Ultimate Fighter recently coming off that show. But not just that. I mean, the guy's really solid. He's got a lot of potential. We've seen that, again, in The Ultimate Fighter. And then since then, I think we've seen a lot of potential from him as well in his last fight. But on the other hand, Holloway, man, the kid's a stud. I mean, we've seen what he's able to do. He made his debut against Dustin Poirier. He hung in there, lost the fight, but still looked impressive in defeat. He comes back, gets an impressive win over Schilling in his last outing as well. So this is a fight, like I said, that has fireworks written all over it. And a close competitive line, minus 130, even money. I think most of the fight's going to end up taking place on the feet. So I'm going to kind of pick Holloway here. I think he's going to get the job done. Can't ever count out Justin Lawrence, but I like plus money or even money. In a competitive fight like this, I think you got to lean towards Holloway.
Okay, cool, man. I don't really know that much about Max Holloway, but I'll have to look into this fight a little more as the fight gets closer here. But what are the odds? What you got the odds at right now?
Right now, it's minus 130 for Justin Lawrence, and the comeback is even money on Holloway. So very competitive, like a coin flip type of fight. I mean, it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be very ultra competitive. Obviously, Holloway wants to keep it on the feet. He's going to have a better job done on the feet, and have a slight advantage in wrestling, but his takedown defense is going to be enough to keep the fight standing most of the time. So, awesome fight.
Okay, man, next up we got Buddy Roberts versus Yushin Okami. And listeners to the show have heard us talk to Buddy Roberts quite a bit, but this is a surprise. He's moving all the way up to the main card.
Yeah, it's a big opportunity for him. I mean, he's stepping in and taking Paul Harris's place here, and and it's a different matchup completely. He's actually stepping up at a whole nother level.
Right.
Okami's a huge favorite. He's coming in at minus 525 right now. So a steep challenge for Buddy Roberts, no doubt, in this particular matchup. You want me to keep commenting on it?
Yeah, well, obviously I would think Buddy Roberts wants to keep this standing. I know he's a wrestler, but lately he's been showing he's quite sufficient with his hands.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's his best key to win as well. I think Okami, even though I just see every advantage in Okami in this particular fight, but the disadvantage for Okami is coming off 2 straight knockout losses. I mean, he did look pretty good against Bosch. He was dominating that fight until Bosch came back and got the job done and knocked him out. But again, that's 2 straight in a row, so I'm a little tentative when it comes to Okami on the feet right now, even though, like I said, he should have an edge on the feet. And you mentioned wrestling with Buddy Roberts. I think that Okami's going to have that edge here as well.
Right.
Buddy Roberts did show some takedown defense in his last fight, but Okami should be another level. So he'll probably get this fight to the floor, and he should have his way with Buddy Roberts once it's there. That's why you're seeing the line be that steep, 5-1 odds. And, of course, the public loves Okami. They realize how talented the guy was. I mean, he just fought Anderson Silva not long ago for the title, so definitely a big step up in competition for Buddy Roberts. But I'm telling you what, that's another fight. I wouldn't count Roberts out necessarily, man. I mean, like we said, on the feet, he has a chance for sure. He's got like a 4 or 5 inch reach advantage. So if he connects, and Okami's kind of folded lately, you never know.
Yeah, man, I took a beating going with the dogs last weekend, but might have to give some a shot again, eh?
Well, again, I would rather pass this fight than anything because I do think Okami should win this fight, rebound and pretty much dominate, man. So if you're going to bet an underdog, I don't know if Buddy Roberts is the guy. It's probably just pass this fight.
No, I would agree with that. I was thinking more on the next fight. We got Ed Herman, who I'm a big fan of, taking on Jake Shields. And I know Jake Shields is probably better in a lot of spots, but Ed Herman has a stand-up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right here, and it's tempting, man, because right now Jake Shields is coming in around 180 or so. Some places have him a little bit higher, too. So you got some value possibly on Ed Herman. Like you said, he's a better striker for sure. The wrestling's going to be interesting because we know Ed Herman has a solid wrestling foundation. He's got a good ground game. Now, but that's the key difference here, and that's why you're seeing Jake Shields obviously a decent favorite over Herman around 2-1 because the ground advantage is definitely going to be on Jake Shields' favor and Jake Shields' favor too. So once it does hit the floor, I think even though Herman is better than maybe your average Joe at 185 as far as the submission game goes, he's not even close to the level of Jake Shields. Hopefully, he can survive, make this an entertaining and competitive fight on the ground. If not, though, if he does manage to keep it up on the feet, I think Herman has a big advantage here over Jake Shields, like you mentioned. So a tough one, another tough fight to bet. If I was going to bet this, I'd almost take a stab at Herman.
Right.
So you're right. Be the dog.
It'll be interesting. We have Ed Herman on the show in probably an hour and a half here, so we'll get his opinions on everything, his impressions on everything. Last time he won 3 fights in a row, back in 2007, he ran into Damian Maia, and he lost that fight. Jake Shields is sort of a similar fighter to Damian Maia.
Yeah, you're right, man. So that's a little bit freaky there.
Yeah,
as far as
sure.
But I think I have to say this, though, that, I mean, he's got a lot going on. Herman, at this stage of his career, he just recently opened up his own training facility as well. I think he's kind of peaking right now, though. I think this is the best version of Ed Herman we've seen in a while. So if he does show up and is in top peak performance and is ready to go, he can win this fight. He could definitely win this fight. But Jake Shields, he's definitely a tough out, no doubt.
Okay, man, next up we got Melvin Guillard, another guy that's coming on the show tonight. He's taking on Cowboy Donald Cerrone. Just talk about this fight.
Well, the odds are a little surprising. Maybe you're seeing Cerrone come in as a 3-1 favorite over Melvin Guillard. And Guillard, normally you see him as obviously a 2-3-1 favorite lately. He's been coming in as a decent favorite. But in this particular matchup, a lot of people are thinking that Cerrone is a bad matchup for him. Let's face it, on the feet, Cerrone can stand up and bang. He's going to have a little bit of a reach advantage, but he is capable of hanging in there and even outpointing Guillard on the feet. On the ground, a big edge, I think, to Cerrone, and as far as submissions go, there's no question about that. So Melvin's going to want to keep this fight standing, and he's got a shot if he does keep it on the feet. But from all accounts, there's been reports out there that even in training, everybody knows the relationship. They both trained at Jackson's together, spent a lot of time together. And from what we hear, it sounds like Cerrone got the better of them in the gym. Now, gym translating into the octagon could be 2 completely different situations, but you have to kind of lean towards Cerrone in this particular fight. Now, again, I would never bet 3-1 over Melvin Guillard, though, man. I mean, he's got so much power; it's a big risk.
Yeah, for sure, man. And kind of surprising that if he was getting owned that bad in the gym, he would take this fight in short notice.
Yeah, it is surprising. I think that a lot of people think these guys might be a little tentative, because they do have a little bit of respect for each other. I don't think so. I think they're going to bang. They're going to come out there, and they're going to be ready to fight. So I think Melvin probably does believe that he's got an advantage on the feet. He could keep it there, and he's got a shot at winning. That's why he took this fight on short notice. Now, on the other hand, Cerrone thinks anywhere this fight goes, he should be okay. So both of them are going to come into this fight confident. We'll see how it plays out.
Okay, and I seen an interview the other day that Cerrone was calling out Anthony Pettis. Do you think he's overlooking Melvin, maybe?
I hope not, because if he is overlooking it, there's going to be a lot of disappointed bettors out there. Because, I mean, not to count out Guillard, like I said, but I know there's going to be a lot of parlays playing on Cerrone because they're thinking he's going to probably end up catching a sub before the fight's over.
Yeah.
If that's the case and he's overlooking Melvin Guillard, then he's going to be in some trouble for sure. You can't do that. He does want to fight Pettis pretty bad. And I would love to see that fight.
Yeah.
I think that would as well.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, man, we're already to the main event. Henderson versus Edgar 2. Who'd you got?
Well, right now the odds are creeping up there a little bit, and they're getting scary, man. You're seeing a lot of places have around minus 185, closer to 2-1 for Ben Henderson. Now, I understand. Competitive first fight. I actually scored it for Ben Henderson. I know there was some controversy, and a lot of people scored it for Frankie Edgar. I thought it was close, and depending on what judges were actually scoring the fight, that's who's going to win that fight. So I wouldn't have been shocked either way if that fight was scored. It was pretty competitive, but I think they made the right call there. I think Henderson won the first fight. I think we're going to see another close fight. That's one I'm saying a little bit too high right now. I mean, Ben Henderson, Frankie Edgar against anybody. Kind of value. I don't know, man. You're getting plus 160, 155. I'm leaning in towards Frankie Edgar getting a decision here, and if he does, man, plus money's the way to go here as well. But this is a tremendous fight.
Yeah, for sure. And looking at the total card right now, who's the biggest favorite on the board?
Well, right now, as far as the main card goes, it's Yushin Okami.
Okay.
He's 5-1, 5-1 or over 5-1. So he's going to be the steepest. Excuse me. As far as betting favorites go. Probably this week weekend and overall. But again, you never know. You can't count Buddy Roberts out. He's hungry. He's getting an opportunity here. I do think Okami should win, though. But he's the steepest favorite coming in.
Awesome, man. Thanks for doing this.
No problem. I always enjoy coming on the show. You're doing a great job.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. We love having guys like you come on and break this shit down for us.
It should be an awesome weekend of fights, so I'm looking forward to everything. And awesome job with the interview. Thank you.
Okay, Nick. Thanks very much. See you, man.